Good evening, I'm Karen Harch.
And I'm Nolan Johannes. Tonight in the news, battling the latest outbreak of the giardiasis. We'll tell you where you can get free drinking water.
Plus,
Stevens, and I'm going to show you something few people have ever seen before.
Tom Clark looks at the week ahead.
And Tim Karlson on sports. Next on Newswatch 16.
In your car, listen to Newswatch 16 on WKRZ AM 1340.
Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, pilot Jack Rulin in Skycam 16, Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark, and Joe Zone on sports. This is Newswatch 16.
Good evening. The giardiasis has put northeastern Pennsylvania into the record books.
There are more people in our area being advised to boil their drinking water than any other place in the entire country that's ever had to deal with giardiasis. The latest outbreak of the giardiasis in Lackawanna County, coupled with the Wyoming Valley outbreak, means about 250,000 people here are affected. From Skycam 16, you can see PG&W's Elmhurst Reservoir, the latest water supply that's found to be contaminated with the disease-causing giardiasis. The Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta, Georgia, tells Newswatch 16 that our area has the largest residential population in the country that was ever put under a drinking water boil advisory. Reno, Nevada ranks second. Last year, 140,000 residents had to deal with a giardiasis outbreak there. The more than 160,000 people in Lackawanna County who are served by this reservoir have been switched over to Lake Scranton, but they're still advised to boil their drinking water for 60 days.
We have two late-breaking stories tonight. First, the State Department of Environmental Resources says it's preparing to order PG&W to build a filtration plant on the Elmhurst Reservoir. The order should be issued sometime late this week. PG&W has been testing its reservoirs, and Newswatch 16's Mark Avis is in Wilkes-Barre. He just got out of a meeting with those principals. He's live with us now. Mark?
Karen and Nolan, Pennsylvania Gas and Water Company within the last 10 to 15 minutes has just announced the test results have just come back on 10 reservoirs in the company's service area, and all have come back clean except the Elmhurst Reservoir, where giardiasis have indeed been found. Now, the test being announced today is different from the one announced on Friday, where the first giardiasis were found from Elmhurst. That test was done on water taps. The test announced this afternoon is the one that was done on the reservoir water. Indeed, it is the source of giardiasis. Also, the tests done on the Lake Scranton Reservoir have come back clean. A total of 3 different kinds of tests taken on the Lake Scranton Reservoir, which is now supplying those 160,000 people in Lackawanna County, have come back clean. And also, one note, the Springbrook Reservoir has also been tested for giardia again, and for the 5th straight week, tests there have come back clean. Now, Pennsylvania Gas and Water Company officials won't really draw any conclusion from these tests. They just stress that everybody should continue boiling their water until told otherwise by the State Department of Environmental Resources. Mark Davis, Newswatch 16, live with the Instacam in downtown Wilkes-Barre. Karen, Nolan?
Thank you, Mark. There are no changes in the latest list of Lackawanna County communities where people are advised to boil their drinking water tonight. But to make sure you know if you're included, here is that list one more time. Archbald, Blakely, Childs, Chinchilla, Dixon City, including Bell Mountain customers, Dunmore, Einan, German, Jessup, Mayfield, all of Old Forge and Music, Oliphant, Peckville, Scranton, Taylor, Troop, Keystone Water customers in Clark Summit, Clark's Green, Dalton, South Abington Township, and parts of Glenburn Township. For those people, plus the Luzerne County residents already in a boil advisory, the state DER says all drinking water should be boiled for at least 1 minute to make it fit to drink. But please be careful and avoid burns when boiling that water.
We've been getting calls here at Newswatch 16 from people who live outside the city of Scranton wondering where they can get free drinking water. Lackawanna County officials held a meeting about that this afternoon. Newswatch 16's Bob Costantini was at that meeting, and he's live now with us from Scranton. Bob?
Karen, I'm standing at one of the few places in Lackawanna County where you can get free water because of the giardiasis problem here in the county. This is the Scranton Memorial Stadium, where the city has 2 very large tanker trucks. The city was hoping to get smaller tanks called water buffaloes into all the firehouses. They are distributing some bottled water in the firehouses, but the other surrounding towns in Lackawanna County have been left without water buffaloes because of the problem down in Luzerne County, we're told. And that has apparently left a definite shortage of water buffaloes for the other towns in Lackawanna County that are affected. Lackawanna County Special Task Force on the giardiasis problem wants to get free water out into other surrounding towns. There is no shortage of distribution sites, just tanks. So a call for help has been sent to state emergency officials.
We put in a request to the state through the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency for at least 19 water buffaloes. And we expect to be hearing on that probably tomorrow morning. And as they become available, we'll start placing them around the municipalities.
County officials expect Pennsylvania Gas and Water Company to supply the tanks once they are in place. Right now, as we said, there are no tanks, though, in the surrounding towns, at least, except with the exception of Dunmore, we understand. Here in Scranton, though, they are giving away water free. It is supposed to be to Scranton residents, but a lot of people who are from outside the city apparently are coming in here because, as we say, in the other communities, there are no water tanks right now. Bob Costantini, live with the Instacam in Scranton. Nolan, Karen?
Okay, thank you, Bob. Joining us now from our Scranton newsroom is the mayor of Scranton, James McNulty. Mayor, thank you for being with us tonight. We reported over the weekend, and we heard you say over the weekend, that you plan to sue PG&W and DER because of this water contamination. What steps have you taken toward this end?
Well, Nolan, really we're in the process of getting water to our people, and what I told them at the end of that meeting was that because I wasn't satisfied with their answers to our questions, and because I felt that they had been negligent in notifying us, both of the agencies, that we would sue them for every dime that it was going to cost the taxpayers of the city of Scranton, ultimately for all of the water we have to import and for all of the water we have to distribute and all of the costs involved in trucking.
Well, you intend to do that?
I want the Gas and Water Company to know, and DER to know, that it's going to cost them money, and unless they're going to spend some money quickly to cure this problem and not just to cure the symptoms. They're not going to save any money if they don't do it and let the amateurs like us do it for them.
So it sounds like what you're saying is the suit might not go forward if they're going to spend the money to get it done. Is that right?
I missed that.
I'm sorry, I say, but the suit might not go forward if PG&W does spend that money you referred to.
Well, they're going to get sued for what it's going to cost us for any difference that it costs us ultimately. We've arranged with HUD for some interim financing for emergency purposes for low and moderate income people. And we have to only spend that on the City of Scranton residents. That's why we've been required to only say our water can be used for City of Scranton residents.
Okay.
But ultimately, we're going to sue them for every dime it costs us and for whatever difference the local taxpayer has to pay. But we want everyone to know in the city that they can still get their water tonight up to 9 o'clock down at Memorial Stadium, and we'll bring in more tanker trucks tomorrow.
Okay, Mayor, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Nolan.
Mayor. The giardiasis-affected area certainly is not limited to homes in Lackawanna County. Where you work or where you eat may also be under the boil advisory. Because of that, workers at the Department of Environmental Resources in Wilkes-Barre are sending out letters to businesses and restaurants in the affected area. They're being told not to serve their tap water to customers, not to use it in preparing foods, and to throw out ice made with that water. Some of you also may have questions about giardiasis and the water problems. Well, Newswatch 16 has prepared a pamphlet for you free of charge. We have expert answers to the most frequently asked questions about giardiasis. Just write to Giardiasis, WNEP TV, Avoca, Pennsylvania, and the zip is 18641. Newswatch 16 would like to know if you believe in the water advisory or if you're disregarding it. So we're asking you to phone in. If your home was added last Friday to the drinking water boil advisory, if you are either boiling drinking water or getting bottled water, phone 1-900-210-3440. That's 1-900-210-3440 if you are either boiling water or getting bottled water to drink. If you are not boiling or getting bottled water and were added to the advisory list on Friday, phone our no number, 1-900-210-3444. That's 1-900-210-3444 if you are not boiling your drinking water or drinking bottled water and live in the areas added to the list on Friday. Your phone call will cost you 50 cents, and we'll announce the results of our unscientific poll tonight on Newswatch 16 Update at 11.
Newswatch 16 continues with the phone poll numbers and also the story of an airplane on the Interstate.
And later on, we'll take you to Clinton County to see a spectacle only Mother Nature could create.
Scranton St. Patrick's Day Parade, live Saturday.
You weren't seeing things if you saw an airplane being towed along Interstate 81 today. This twin-engine plane was forced to make an emergency landing last week along Interstate 380 near Tobyhanna. The pilot wasn't hurt, but the plane is in rough shape. Crews were busy towing it to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Airport for possible repairs. The slow move tied up traffic for a time along Interstate 81 today.
Here again are those telephone numbers for our Newswatch 16 poll. We would like to know if you were added last Friday to the boil water advisory, if you are or are not either boiling water or getting bottled water for drinking. If you are, phone our yes number, 1-900-210-3440. If you are not either boiling drinking water or getting bottled water and were added to the list last Friday, phone our no telephone number, 1-900-210-3444. The call will cost you 50 cents. The telephone lines will be open until 9 tonight, and we'll have the results of your calls on Newswatch 16 Update at 11. Our Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark is next with his forecast.
And I understand there's some snow in the forecast, Tom?
Yes, there is, Nolan. Another storm is coming in for tomorrow, but I also have warmer temperatures coming in this week. I'll tell you how warm and how much snow when we come back.
You ought to get out this fall and tour a United Way member agency in your community. From the very young to the very old, United Way serves thousands of your friends and neighbors each year. Visit an agency and see your United Way contribution at work and give generously, cause thanks to you, it works for all of us. The United Way. Call your United Way today.
All right, skiers are still a little bit happy then tonight with evidently what's coming our way, right, Tom?
They'll be twice as happy, I think, Nolan, by tomorrow night. However, though, there is a warm-up in sight for later this week, a little bit of hint of spring in my forecast tonight, but also more snow coming in, I think, by the rush hour tomorrow morning. Overhead now, I do have a half moon overhead, just some high clouds coming in, and the temperature now stands at 22. The humidity is 41%, the air still quite dry, the wind light, and the barometer up high, but now holding steady. The range in temperature, 23 for the high in this backyard today, the low this morning, 6. Not too far from the record low for this date, set back in 1960. The normal high now is up to 42, and that record high set way back in 1902. That's an overlook there, shot today, of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. A little haze in the air there. Let's go to the Newswatch 16 color satellite photograph. Here's the dome of clear, cold air that was anchored over our region this past weekend. Of course, we broke the record low temperature Saturday morning, and many places in the single numbers overnight, even below zero at times over the weekend at night. But now we have warm 70 and 60 degree air rushing up from the south, causing all these clouds to break out. A clash of cold air and warm air, and this cloud pattern is moving to the east with snow falling beneath it now in Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. Some heavier snow out in Illinois, and that snow pattern moving east at about 30 miles per hour. Now, once the storm system gets on by later in the week, a more westerly flow of winds will take over in the upper atmosphere, and that means a definite warming trend with temperatures, I think, topping the 50-degree mark by Thursday and Friday of this week. So here's the forecast for tonight. The clouds will thicken up this evening, a dry evening right up through midnight, then snow should begin about 3 a.m. Maybe an inch on the ground by rush hour tomorrow morning. An icy start. About 16 in Creamton up there in Wayne County. 19 in Nanacoke, Milton, 18 the low down there in Frackville, and 19 also up there in Canton. Now, an icy start tomorrow morning. I think when you wake up, you'll look out and see snow coming down at a pretty good clip and the ground getting white. And then I think enough warm air should rush in from the southeast off the ocean to change that rain over to some sleet and some freezing rain, and then rain in the afternoon. So kind of a messy situation coming tomorrow. 33 New Milford, getting up to about the middle 30s. 37, though, the high in Stroudsburg tomorrow. And snowfall amounts, about 3 inches tomorrow from Scranton all down to Bloomsburg and Sunbury, about 4 in Hazleton, up in the mountains of the Poconos. 4 to 5 inches could fall over the northern tier counties, about 4 in Jersey Shore. You get down to Pottsville and Allentown, only about 2 inches of snow should fall tomorrow. And on your health watch, well, you wake up tomorrow morning and see all that snow coming down outside. You may not be in a very good mood, so we have a low mood index for tomorrow. Sunrise and sunset, as you see there. The snow coming in tomorrow, partly sunny Wednesday, 53 on Thursday. Get set for that, maybe a little bit of rain on Friday. But kind of a messy situation coming tomorrow. We'll update for you tonight at 11.
Okay, we'll be waiting.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Tim Karlson is in next for Joe Zone.
Tonight, Tim has a special report from Florida. A talk with the Yankees chief.
From Scranton. I started my training in northeastern Pennsylvania 7 years ago. And today I'm at Scranton's Nayog Park where I had my first bike race. And now I'm training for the 1984 Olympics. It will take a lot of hard work and dedication to get to the Olympic Games, and we need your support. So please send your contribution to the United States Olympic Committee. And who knows, maybe you'll see me in Los Angeles next year.
A public service of WNEP TV 16.
George Steinbrenner, Joe Zone, and Tim Carlson all in one sport.
What a combination,
Wow.
I'll tell you. The big names are here, folks. All right. At least Zone and Steinbrenner are. All right, Joe Zone's still enjoying his stay in Florida at the spring training camps of the Yankees and the Phillies. Today, an exclusive interview with the big man, George Steinbrenner, principal owner of the Yankees.
It's early. What do you like about what you've seen so far?
Well, you have to like the way Yogi has run spring training. He's done a great job. It's a relaxed atmosphere, that's true, but I think that as we see it come closer to the last 10 games of spring training, you're going to see him turn the screws and really bring this team in ready. At least I sense that. Yogi has just astounded me. He is so detail-oriented, so organized. I never would have believed it. I just wouldn't. He's the people's choice. He's the most popular choice I think we've ever made as a manager.
What don't you like, if there is anything, at an early stage of spring training?
Oh, I wasn't upset with Nettles and Winfield particularly. I'll tell you why, because they popped off. It wouldn't be a spring training with the Yankees without somebody popping off, and it isn't as though, as I said before, you're running a business. If a vice president of one of my companies did that, he's gone tomorrow. But athletes are funny guys, and I think Nettles has a lot of pride, and from the standpoint that the statements he made were from his pride, then I tend to close my eyes to it and say, hey, all right, now shut up and do your work. Same with Winfield. As long as those two guys do the work on the field, that's the thing that matters to me. But I'm not going to put up with any more of it. But they've had their say. Now, fine. Now let's get about the business of winning games.
What I hear where I live, why do the Yankees go for a Toby Harrell? Why do the Yankees go for a Phil Niekro? What are these people thinking about when they make moves like that?
I think Toby Harrell is a class act as a player and a person. Plus, he's an all-star third baseman. I mean, he's as good as there is in the American League. Now, we got Detroit and Baltimore looking for third baseman. Can't seem to find one, evidently, who would love to have had Toby Harrell. You got to remember, Nettles is 40 years old in August, and Brooks Robinson couldn't play past 38 effectively, and he's just not going to be able to carry it every day. So I think third base is a key position. If Harrell and Nettles combination can give me 115 runs batted in, we could win it. I've got to have that kind of production. I think I'll get that kind of production out of third base. See, the great Yankee teams have always had production from first and third on that infield.
Maybe by the end of the season, George will know how to pronounce Toby Harrell's name, all right? Well, anyway, Joe's conversation with Steinbrenner continues tonight at 11. Reports every night this week. High school basketball teams headed into interdistrict play later this week. In the meantime, a new Super 16 is out. Here's the way it shapes up. At number 16, GAR down from the 7th slot. New entry at 15 is Forest City. Another newcomer, Palmerton, slips in at 14, falling from 10th to 13th is Bishop Hoban. Remaining at number 12, the Athens Bulldogs. Lakeland moves up 2 places from 13 to 11. From nowhere to number 10, the Mountaineers of Dallas. Same story for Selinsgrove, a new entry at number 9. How about this? The District 2 Quad A champs Hazleton show up at number 8 after being unranked last week. Up 2 from 9th to 7th, Allentown Central Catholic. The Bulldogs of Northern Lehigh drop from number 4 to number 6. Up 1 place, Lourdes Regional at number 5. Now in the top 4, the Canaries of Allentown Allen High, and the top 3 stay put. Catch these records. Number 3 Northwest 28-1, Pottsville at 31-1 in the 2nd slot, and still number 1 since the beginning of the season, the Millionaires of Williamsport, unbeaten in 25 games. And don't forget the playoffs begin Friday night. All the coverage right here on Channel 16.
Okay, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
It's hard to believe, but spring is just around the corner.
And we'll show you the proof of it from Clinton County as Newswatch 16 continues.
Hi, I'm Sue Heon from Clark Summit. Northeastern Pennsylvania was a place where I first grew to love swimming. At Abington Heights, I spent a lot of hours in the pool. But it's nothing like 8 hours a day that I spend in training here at Germantown Academy for the 1984 Olympics. Please support the United States Olympic Foundation, and who knows, maybe you'll be seeing me in the 1984 Games.
Spring is close at hand. You can tell by the tulips coming up, but the most spectacular sign can be found along the west branch of the Susquehanna River. Newswatch 16's Craig Stevens tells us about the whistling swans near Avis.
Have you ever seen anything as beautiful as this? Over 300 whistler swans on the Susquehanna River between Jersey Shore and Lock Haven. Nature at its best, unspoiled and beautiful. Herb Walker of Avis showed them to us. He's been watching these migratory birds on their stop over here for over a week now, and he's still excited.
I have never seen, and the people I've talked to, I've never seen talked to anyone who has seen this tremendous number. The other day I counted 385. This was after a number of them had flown away.
Not only are these birds beautiful to the eye, but just listen to them.
Just the absolute beauty of the thing, and the fact that they are totally free. They're able to come and go as they please. They're just one of God's creatures, and it's absolutely exciting to watch them.
It's rare moments like this when you can appreciate the beauty of all these swan together and know that you're lucky to live in Pennsylvania. Craig Stevens, Newswatch 16, along the banks of the Susquehanna in Clinton County.
Lucky indeed. That's Newswatch 16 for a Monday.
Enjoy your evening.